Greetings, I'm George Boston Rhymes with the Get to Free Press, a social media journalist, often called the SOC reporter. Today I want to give you an update and overview of the local metropolitan city here in Valdosta, Georgia. Not too many years ago, there was a 105 vehicle motorcade from Hayhira to Folsom Bridge, consisting of black, white people, and others who traveled to that location where Mary Turner was lynched in May of 1918 during the Week of Terror, when 13 to 25 blacks were murdered outright by white mob members following the death of a white plantation owner in Brooks County because he was taking people's money, working them on his plantation after they had paid off their fine. He was killed. And of course, Sidney Johnson was the black man who committed that murder. And he was shot here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, dragged up and down South Patterson Street after being tied behind a pickup truck, after he had been castrated and killed in a shootout over near Harrington's funeral home, tied behind a pickup truck and dragged to the old campgrounds in Morgan. Hayes Turner, who had nothing to do with that murder of that white man, and Mary Turner was the wife of Hayes Turner, and she made the statement that if they found out who murdered her husband, because Hayes Turner was lynched as well, she made the statement that she wanted the perpetrators of that crime prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And eventually they murdered her, cut the 8-month-old fetus from her womb. The fetus fell on the ground, and a white mob member took the heel of his boot and crushed the head of that baby. And it is recorded in the Crisis magazine that baby gave out a couple cries before it made the disconnect from the life of the living into the life of the dead. This is why the 105 vehicle motorcade was going or traveling from Hayhira to Folsom Bridge, near the location spot that those two black people were murdered for nothing except for being black. And do you not know that no news media, not a single one, covered that 105 vehicle motorcade? And we have it documented on G.B.R.blogspot.com, because you have a right to know. Not too many years ago, there was a mother and father whose daughter had been hog-tied face down in Pine Grove Middle School. And accused of striking a teacher. The teacher later gave a written document that the girl never touched her. Yet they threw her down and nothing was done about it except they brought her up on charges. And the perpetrators of the fight that brought this about received less charges than she did. So the mother and father went to all news media outlets in Valdosta and I witnessed them. Valdosta Daily Times, CBS, NBC, no news station would cover what happened to that 14-year-old black girl. That means that they refuse to publish anything about it in the local news media network about what happened to that 14-year-old girl. And although later everything was dropped, but that's a story for another day. And if you Google it, you will find that I published it, but the local news media did not. Wait a minute, haven't finished yet. Not too many years ago, the Valdosta City School, the new one, was being built, bids was being put in, and that school is being built where the population of students is probably 75% black. The cost of that new school was $85 million plus. No black contractors got any money from that of any significant value. And moreover, no local contractors. All that money, for the most part, went outside of Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia. But here again, what the local populace do not know is how black and white contractors fought at the School Board of Education meeting that took place in libraries and other locations. There was no television station, radio, or newspaper to report the beef of what the black contractors spoke and fought for, because the local news media pretended as if though the black news was not important to the people here in this metro city. Now, everything that I say to you today, I would love for CNN, MSNBC, 60 Minutes, 48 Hours, Dateline, or Your Line to challenge me and see if I have video to back up every word that I'm saying. And St. John 8:32 says, "And ye shall know the truth, and that the truth shall set and make you free." So all the fight and struggle of black folk and the white people who stood up so the parents of the children here in Valdosta and Lowndes County could get some of those $85 million. But your local news media decided that that was not news to the people here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia. Wait a minute, haven't finished yet. Not too many years ago, I was called and there was a black man, police officer, I'm told, who committed suicide. I went and talked to the then chief of police and others about that not being published to the general public in terms of his death. And that's another story for another time. But I'm here to tell you that that too was not news in Valdosta and Lowndes County news media network. It is as if though those in the clique and among the slicks publish what they want, and they exclude you and the news about your children and your neighbor's children. And the truth, let me repeat, and the truth must be told so the lies can be exposed. Just that simple. Wait a minute, haven't finished yet. Not too many months ago, there was a homeless man by the name of Mr. Webb. I was called to that location on the south side. This man died in the Hedgery area over there. He had a mattress there. He had made a little home there in the bushes. Had his bicycle in there. And I even went to the Valdosta Daily Times. But do you not know that nothing was published in your local newspaper, in the television station, nightly news reports, nothing on radio about it. But I reported it. Google homeless man in Valdosta in Lowndes County, and even more sickening, it took nearly a month after I pleaded with elected officials to clean up that scene, to clean it up. You can see all of this on my YouTube channel, Boston G.B.R. I stood before City Council, the mayor and council, and it took 2 weeks for them to clean up that area. And it's just a few feet away from a park where children play. And when they removed his body, I got it all on video, they left the maggots that I filmed in his hairline because he had been there for probably a week or two. Maggots all around the rim of his skull, and the hair was left on that mattress. I filmed some of it, but I did it conservatively, out of due respect. But you also have a right to know. Do you not know? That took 2 weeks to go in there and clean that up, and at least 5 or 6 attempts of me contacting somebody to get it cleaned up. Here again, no news media coverage. It is as if though our sons and daughters put on the uniform in the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Marines to go fight in foreign lands to preserve the rights of others, to have a freedom of the press, but not here in Valdosta, in Lowndes County, Georgia. So I'm going to continue to talk about it because somebody must talk about it. Wait a minute. Haven't finished yet. May the 25th, 2013, I think it was, I was put under a criminal trespass by a sheriff deputy by the name of Thomas and another white deputy on 2 different occasions that you can find on my YouTube channel. And I violated no law. No law. Today, it's been over 6 years and 6 months that I've been under this illegal, unjustified, racist, criminal trespass without justification or notification under Sheriff Prime and Superintendent of the Lowndes County High School, Wes Taylor. 6.5 years. I have gone to 2 meetings on that property, and they have not arrested me. So the question is, do they want to think that I'm just going to ignore it and don't go on the property? Or what are they trying to prove? I stood before not only Wes Taylor, but to all those white men, on the school board of education for Lowndes County school system. And they didn't say one word about it. It is as if though they are like a Gestapo type group of white folk. And they are saying we don't have to respond to you. And they haven't. And I'm going to keep talking about it because it could happen to any airman at Moody Air Force Base. Nothing will be done about it. It could happen to anybody at Georgia Military College, and nothing will be said about it. It could happen to any student at Wiregrass Technical College, and nothing will be done about it. It could happen to any person that comes for a tournament at Kinderloo Golf Course, and the Lowndes County Sheriff Deputy can stop them and tell them that they are under criminal trespass and banned from wherever, and they violated no law. But wait a minute. They could go to Francis Lake or wherever, just traveling, and they can stop you and say you're under criminal trespass, and you can hear it over the sheriff deputy radio, and you can record it like I did on 2 different occasions. But they don't put it in writing like Meggs, Georgia, in Thomas County. If they put you under criminal trespass, they put it in writing on a form designed for that purpose. But not here in Valdosta and Lowndes County. Now CNN, Victor Blackwell, Rachel Maddow, HLN's 48 hours. If you care enough to visit me on what I'm saying and see if I can back up what I'm saying with bona fide certified documents and with the voice over the Lowndes County Sheriff Deputy radio on both occasions. But it was only after the death or murder of Kendrick Johnson. Was it that they thought that the students may come to me and tell what happened to KJ, and that because I was not in the clique and among the slicks, that I would report the truth, and maybe they just couldn't deal with that. What I don't understand even is why is it that Michael Moore with DOJ didn't interview me concerning why they put me under a criminal trespass for nothing. I don't even understand why my beautiful brother attorney Shaveen King didn't interview me or talk to me or find out why they put me under this criminal trespass, because this criminal trespass may had to do with the passing of KJ Johnson, Kendrick Johnson. And they wanted to keep me quiet because they know that I believe in the real free press and not the whiteout process. And do you not know that no newspaper in Valdosta and Lowndes County published one word until this day about this criminal trespass? The news media, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, haven't said nothing about me being under a criminal trespass. And so as you send your children here from New York and California to go to school, or to go out to Kinderloo Golf Course, or to go to Wild Adventures Theme Park, Valdosta State University, as I said, or Francis Lake, do you not know the same thing could happen to you? And no elected official, nobody under the Southern judicial system, in other words, no judges would say a word about it, no publication, so the general public will know about it. I'm telling you, it's like you're living here under a Gestapo-type government. Now, if you think this is something, you ought to see the makeup of the juries here in terms of a city being majority black and how the jury pool looks. You need to see it. Now, they say they don't pick them here, but that's another story for another day. But short form, no news media published my story to the general public. Now, I'm getting ready to come to the conclusion. Right here, I'm standing in front of the Southern Judicial Circuit of this area. And do you not know that Mayor John Gale, chairman, first of all, Mayor John Gale is over city government along with his city council members from each district. Do you not know they just put a flag over City Hall when I complained about it? The Senate City Annex still don't have one. Rainwater Conference Center got a memorial for veterans and they don't have a state flag. The post office don't have a state flag. The VA clinic here don't have a state flag. The courthouse here, Arthur McLean Courthouse, don't have a Georgia state flag. Valdosta Lyons County Parks and Recreation Building on Forest Street do not have a Georgia flag. The Lyons County Museum do not have or fly a Georgia flag. Yet we are the home to Moody Air Force Base, where our sons and your daughters put their life on the line for this country. Not to mention those who are in the National Guard Army or the reserves. In cases of natural disasters, they leave their job to come take care of you and your children who are in danger, or to restore houses and homes and businesses. But by not flying the Georgia flag, they are saying to hell with all of those men and women. And I'm gonna tell you, as a veteran, it is a disgrace. And even if the retired active duty generals and colonels don't say nothing about it, or your top ranking enlisted men don't say nothing about it, I'm gonna continue to talk about it, because I took an oath and I took on the code of conduct in the military for over 20 years. And I committed to memory that I am an American fighting man, and I'm prepared to give my life in the defense of my country, and that I would protect this country from both foreign and domestic enemies. And when the elected officials refuse to honor those who served in uniform out at Moody Air Force Base, Fort Stewart, Warner Robins, and other military bases in Georgia, then they are a threat to this nation. And somebody gotta have enough patriotism outside of political parties to let the world know that we who served love our fellow comrades in uniform, in time of war as well as in time of peace. Let me ask you a question. Since I've been talking about no Georgia flag, you all have seen it all over my channel. What have the Valdosta Daily Times said about it? What have NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox News, or radio station said about it? And why is it that I am the lone fox crying in the wilderness on behalf of your sons and your daughters, and in many cases, even you, and the so-called religious leaders are like a voice crying in the wilderness with the lockjaw, and you can't hear nobody pray because they don't know what to pray for, because you don't have a news media to publish the news, especially in the black community, but in this metro city in general. Now, the last item I'm going to talk about is the reason I use all these other incidents to bring it up to date to August the 2nd, 2019, when I was called by the president of the Justice League United from Waycross, Georgia, and was later told by a Latino man while having a cup of coffee. Then I received pictures on my Facebook account where there was a noose displayed in the workplace at Industrial Park, Valdosta Industrial Park, called Bathcraft. 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 And those pictures had a noose displayed from the ceiling in front or behind the United States flag. I have interviewed 11 people. They are not afraid. They gave beautiful statements of the whole situation. And it's out there, it's more than just a flag. I thought it was just a flag. But now you gotta listen to these people. Now don't get me wrong. I have heard the same thing in other industrial plants and businesses here where black people are working and they don't have no workers' rights and they don't have no news media to come in and publish the hellhole they have to work in here in Valdosta and Lowndes County. Now, can you imagine someone working in a business here? Let me say it again. Can you imagine an individual working on a job here in Valdosta for 9 to 12 years and still making $9.25 an hour? I'm gonna say it again. Yes, they've been working on jobs right here in Valdosta for 9 years and only making less than $10 an hour. Less than $10 an hour. Many of these jobs don't have no benefits. They talk to you if you're black like a dog. They deny you unemployment, as you will hear on the videotapes I'm gonna post in 4 or 5 days. I got other people that wanna come and add to the videos. I got a lot of them. But you won't see this in the Valdosta Daily Times. You won't hear about this on ABC, NBC, CBS, Dateline, Nightline, MSC, the Associated Press. You won't see it in there. But if you look at Henry County and Locust Grove, Georgia, you will see where they had ribbons with a noose around the mascot of the school up there, and the Associated Press came in and published that. Even the Atlanta Journal and Constitution picked it up, and when the Associated Press picked it up, it went to the Boston Globe, it went to the Washington Post, it went to the New York Times. It's all over the nation now. But Valdosta is in the clique and among the slicks, and the news here apparently is connected with some very powerful people all across America. And so the news here don't get out. That may be why Victor Blackwell, CNN, MSNBC, as well as HLN wouldn't come back to Valdosta. Maybe they found something out here that went beyond freedom of the press and your right to know under our form of government. And so I went to Valdosta City Council meeting and I talked about this noose and the pain of the people and workers. Some of them are so scared they don't want to talk publicly, but they're writing statements because they want to fix it. Wait till you see the conditions of the bathrooms out at Bathcraft. You need to see the conditions that they work in. And you need to ask yourself here in the state of Georgia, why is it that Georgia legislators haven't approved some type of agency to inspect bathrooms in the state of Georgia, especially in workplaces, in restaurants? Why is it? How can restaurant, I know a restaurant right down here. I'm gonna put it on pretty soon so you can see how the bathrooms look. Another one, west of town, I already done recorded. We who have our cell phones, you don't have to wait for your local news media to ignore you. Get your cell phone and use it. Post it. Let people know. Because if we don't stand up in this country for our own rights, pretty soon you're not going to have any. Because believe me, they take them away very fast. I served 20 years, and look what they did to me. They told me by their actions that you are just like the 1857 Dred Scott decision dealing with a black man. Supreme Court ruled that no black man had any rights that a white man was bound to respect. Now, everything that I've said today, you can call me a racist, you can call me an outside agitator, you can call me a Martin Luther King wannabe, you can call me a Jesse Jackson lookalike, you can call me for breakfast or not call me for breakfast, and I'm still going to tell you the same truth, because Jesus said in St. John 8:32, and ye shall know the truth, and that the truth shall set and make you free. Wait a minute, one more. See, this is not me. This is God's Spirit in your midst. I retired here in 91. On the second floor of Valdosta City Hall, there was an old 1860 city charter displayed on the wall leading into municipal court Judge Edwards' courtroom. God or the devil allowed me one day to look at it. I've seen it before, but I didn't read it. I'm going to read it to you, and then I want you to look back on everything that I've said to you today and see, although they took that charter down after much controversy from Mayor Freddie and city council member, but they finally took it down. The physical charter, but the mentality of that charter is still in the minds of white elected officials and some blacks as well. Here's what it says: that the mayor and council shall pass all proper and necessary laws and ordinances for the control of slaves and free persons of color, and to control, suppress, and abate all nuisances from hogs, dogs, horses, and other livestock straying at large in Valdosta. Now, isn't that something? They finally took it down, but not without a fight. Mayor John Freddie said it was a part of the landscape and that it could not be removed. But I knew in my spirit of spirits and in my heart of hearts, and God that I serve, and my military commitment, and my code of conduct to defend this country against both foreign and domestic enemies, I knew it was coming down. Just like a lot of other things that somebody said that it couldn't be done, but it was. Do you not know that there was a time not too many months ago, the Valdosta City Schools did not have Georgia flag flying in over many school buildings. And I stood before the Board of Education at least 3 or 4 times. But guess what they did? Somebody eventually told them, unlike the mayor and County Commissioner Chairman, Mr. Slaughter, they think that we don't know the root cause of why they are not flying that flag. But let me, short form, do you not know that the superintendent and those elected officials did the right thing to honor the people in uniform, and they got those flags and they put them up? And when our children look up at those flags, knowing that their brother, their sister, or their parents are in uniform and may never come home again from the state of Georgia. It shows that our elected officials could care less about them if there's no flag. But in the school system, when the children look up and people like me, retired veterans, and the parents who lost their child in the armed forces in the state of Georgia, they feel proud. And when they come to the courthouse and they look up here, as long as I've been telling them, as long as I've been saying to them, as long as I've been preaching to them, as long as I've been doing these videos for them, and I'm going to continue, because I believe that I am not the only person in Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and in the United States of America that cares about respecting our veterans each and every day, and not just on Memorial Day or Veterans Day or Columbus Day, etc., where we get up and play our games and lie to the veterans. I love our veterans each and every day, because each and every day, somewhere, there's an American citizen that died. Some die in basic training. Some die just, they can't take the stress. Some commit suicide, even here in the state of Georgia. But our elected officials saying, I'm not gonna fly no damn Georgia flag. That's what they're saying. And we the people won't say nothing about it. And this is why we're losing our rights. And so when you get old and you look around and you see your children will have no rights at all, you don't have nobody to blame but yourself. This is the Get To Free Press. And I say this with conviction. I report, by the grace of God, what others ignore. If I did not know the true and living God, if I did not know the Jesus, the real Jesus of the book. Now, I'm not talking about your Jesus. You see, your Jesus won't let you talk like this. Your Jesus will be satisfied with you being under Nazi rule in Germany, where you don't have no right to say nothing, and that's what you're doing in this country. You're not saying nothing. So your Jesus approve of that, because you go to church, you holler hallelujah, hallelujah, and hallelujah, but you don't stand up to make things better here in the United States of America. Yet you send your children off to war, and you don't even question the government in terms of how they disrespect the veterans who served before them. Y'all have a nice day. Don't blame me. If what I just told you, if it wasn't true, I would look like a complete idiot to stand up here and talk to you about the 105 vehicle motorcade that the news media ignored. I would be an idiot to talk about the 14-year-old black girl that was hog-tied, thrown down on the floor, make her look like a criminal, and she didn't even start the fight. Or the $85 million school that's built over here in a predominantly black school, and the parents of these children did not receive any money worth anything. And it's sad. It's sad. Or when a police officer allegedly committed suicide, and you didn't even publish it in the newspaper. Didn't even publish it in the newspaper. Oh my goodness. No TV coverage. Oh my goodness. How could that be in a metro city in the state of Georgia? Now, if these things were not true, and if I'm gonna talk about it, I would look like a complete idiot. The homeless man, Mr. Wade, white guy, living in the woods over there on South Side. No news coverage. I went and talked to the news media outlets, and they still didn't publish it. Why is it that those in the clique and among the slicks want to keep you deaf, dumb, and blind to the times and unable to make intelligent decisions based on facts. Why is that? Again, I'm giving you the truth. You can come after me and say I'm lying, like they do on Kendrick Johnson Race Hope Facebook page, which we all know they are racist and liars, and they definitely lied on me. And I've said it and I mean it. Normally I don't retaliate. I just continue to give the truth. But if they continue, I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again, if I ever begin to talk about Kendrick Johnson Race Hope's page and those who are in the R's hiding behind the door, I'm gonna snatch the curtain down off of them. Yeah, I'm gonna snatch the curtain. And I can do it by information other people gave me. Now, if you don't believe it, just watch a few more months and see what I do. See, I don't like inflicting pain on nobody because I know how I feel. And God blessed or cursed me to be able to take all the pain that you can put on me, even up to death, you see. You see, Dr. King understood that if a man or a person haven't found something that he's willing to die for, not only is he not fit to live, but he's not fit to die. But God just taken him out of his misery anyway, and he died. And so, if there was a flag flying over this building and all over all the other buildings I mentioned, if there had been a flag up there, I would be an idiot to say something about it. If they hadn't put me on a bogus criminal trespass for not violating any law, I would be an idiot for talking about it and addressing it so powerful as I've been doing since 2013 and gonna continue. Oh, they haven't heard nothing yet. Oh no, this is not over yet, this criminal trespass. And you see the thing about it, all they have to do is send me a letter from the sheriff department or West Taylor saying they removed me from this illegal act they put me under, and I have it recorded on tape. All you have to do is Google criminal trespass on George Boston Rhines, and you can listen to it for yourself, because I don't lie. You see, when you know the true and the living God, when you know the true Jesus, not the fake God nor the fake Jesus, you can stand on your feet. Because St. Matthew says, 24:35, heaven and earth will pass away, but my word will stand forever. And that's why, when I talk about the Noose, you can believe it. I got the pictures. I got human bodies that can talk about it. And there are some things, I'm gonna say this, there are some things I know that we can't even tell yet. I'm gonna throw that in too. Look here. You wonder why I do this? You see, somebody must carry the Ark of the Covenant of this dispensation so the children can be led out of the house of confusion into the promised land of freedom. And as long as people hide and cover up the truth, you nor your children will ever be free. Y'all have a nice day. May God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. And if you don't believe in God, I still love you. If you're a Democrat, I love you. If you're a Republican, I love you. This is not a Democratic Republican message, you see. I don't just talk about Democratic veterans or Green Party veterans or independent veterans or et cetera, et cetera. We don't serve in the military like that. All this stuff President Trump is talking about, I don't know how the members of our armed forces can live together, black and white people, Democrats, Republican, Green Party, Independent, with what the president putting down. Because when we go into combat, we lay all that down. We lay down skin color. My life is dependent upon white people. White people's lives are dependent upon the black man. The white man and the black man, our life is dependent upon a Latino, or a Japanese, or a German, or a Russian, if he's in this country legally and had got citizenship and want to serve his country. From Guam, Puerto Rico, all of us. We don't argue like the president. We couldn't argue like the president. At least we take the M16 and turn it on each other and blow our brains out. If we spewed out that type of venom, when we go in Vietnam, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, we would turn that gun on our own American citizens. Mr. President, so we learn in the military that we are American fighting men and women, prepared to give our life in the defense of our country. And we'll do it side by side with a Republican, a Democrat, a Green Party, an Independent, a black, a white, a Jew, a Gentile, a Protestant, a Catholic, a Muslim, and even you, if you would have served. Y'all have a nice day. The Ghetto Free Press. Bye-bye. We go.